I don't know what to think about CMON these days. They're putting quite a bit of stuff out. Well, they've had all that controversy after the X-Men Zombicide game, Marvel Zombies. And I just don't know how to feel about it. I feel like they've tried to pull out some big IPs to do it. But now it feels like they're going to the well and they're trying to hit nostalgia. And you know what? They picked something that I didn't back last time, but that I'm tempted to. Board games, role-playing games, assembling and painting models and miniatures. These are my hobbies. I'm Howard Blues, one half of the popular podcast Beer, Blues, and BS. And now join me as I rebuild my cave of one. Hi, everybody. Howard Blues here, and welcome to Howard's Cave of Wonder, a lovely spin-off show that I do every now and then when I have board game hobby-related stuff that I either wish to talk about, like a Kickstarter review, like I'm about to do, or sometimes I dive into other aspects of the hobby, which I have some more of these coming. Be patient. Be very patient. More to come from me. I'm trying. But today I want to look at CMON's newest Kickstarter, and it is Cthulhu Death May Die, Season 3, which is, I believe, got the subtitle of Fear of the Unknown. I haven't looked at this yet. So this is my first impression, my blind impressions as I read the Kickstarter page for the first time. Death May Die originally came out on Kickstarter back in like 2018, 2017, somewhere in there. And I didn't back it. It was a game that was basically renowned for this incredibly giant Cthulhu. I hate to call it a miniature. Let's call it a statue. Let's call it for what it was. It was a statue. And as impressive as that piece was, at the time, I didn't know where I would store it. It was expensive. And I can't remember the exact reason I ended up not backing it, but I think it was just that I just wasn't getting the vibes for it. The game came out. It got some great reviews. Some people that I like listening to their reviews said some good things, and I'm as intrigued. So let's take a look at it and see what I think of this newest one. Okay, so here we have Cthulhu Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown. Humanity's biggest fear is back. Face new monsters, insanities, and rules in this brand new standalone Death May Die core box. Okay. It's raised over $1 million on a $200,000 goal, so that's not bad. 1,000 backers. 12 days to go at the time of me recording this, and I'm going to try to put this out as fast as I can so people have time to look at it. I like the art on the box. That's kind of cool. Let's take a look down. Okay, diving right into this stuff. We got some crazy monster art, some explorers, the board. Okay, some monsters. All right, what do we got? 1 to 5 players, 14 plus, 90 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Cthulhu Death May Die is back with a new standalone box and upgraded rules designed by Rob. Oh, I'm going to probably screw this up. Rob DeVow and Marco Portugal. I apologize. I apologize. I'm totally off on those. I know it. Fear of the Unknown marks a new season of the hit board game that brought a new twist to the Mythos universe. Created by H.P. Lovecraft, faced the challenges of 6 new episodes, 2 new Elder boxes, bring new insanities and monsters, as well as a new modular rules in this cooperative board game for 1 to 5 players. Now, one thing that I will say is interesting is that this is season 3, and I don't remember there being a season 2 Kickstarter on this. The cult game that captured the mythos in unique ways, backwards salon, combine your fears. Choose 1 Elder 1 and 1 episode box, each with their own unique components and challenges, and combine their contents to create your personal game experience. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. Okay, I wonder how that really works. Don't let madness take over. Okay. Each investigator starts the game with an insanity that can help, but also hinder them. As they face their fears, their insanity grows, bringing them one step closer to a breakdown. Interesting. But also empowering their skills. Okay. Stop the ritual. That is an ugly thing. It's an interesting art style that they kind of got going. Like, this thing looks nice and gross. Not sure what the heck is up with this mask, but I don't know. There's something about that. I don't like this screaming guy. Yeah, I don't know. Investigators are trying to stop the ritual led by cultists that are summoning the Elder One to consume the world, disrupt it. The extra dimensional horror will be vulnerable, so you can kill it dead. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. So this case, that's saying new rules, introduce plug-and-play enemies. So it sounds like the unknown monster enemies unknown to episodes. You can add random sets of monsters to any episode of any season. Okay, so kind of a way to change it up to the replayability. Okay. Unknown relics bring a new arsenal of dangerous artifacts to the investigators. Okay. Interesting. Testimonials. Here we have Zeke Garcia and Mike Delizio. We played Cthulhu Death May Die before. In fact, is one of my favorite games. I think there's a missing word there. So we have the unknowable pledge. So it's $100. You get the Kickstarter exclusive Antonio figure. 10 investigators. Sally, Mike, who looks like a circus strongman. Peters looks like an insane surgeon. Ruth, Julian, Hui Kong. It's kind of cool. It's kind of Tibetan monk look. Stella, Agatha, Leon. So I'm not going to lie. It feels a little bit like a mixed match of styles on this. Some of it feels like kind of 1920s characters and design with some of that. But then this guy looks like kind of a modern beach bum. He just doesn't seem to fit like that 1920s aesthetic with the Hawaiian lei and all that. He just doesn't seem to fit. First impression. 20 cultists and monsters. Those are kind of interesting looking cultists. Whoa. That, these gas are kind of weird. Which is, I mean, for monsters, okay. Surfer Man, okay. Fish from the outside. So some interesting Lovecraftian monsters. Gugs. Nameable. The whole. So the whole here kind of reminds me of the miniature they had for Dagon, which was a Kickstarter exclusive in the first one. I remember that because I remember being a little annoyed because I was like Dagon. He's one of the elder monsters. Tatholgua? Yeah. Interesting. Amorphous Scion. Okay, some squares there. Azeroth. It's kind of a crazy, interesting looking thing. Dancer of Azeroth. Okay. I mean, they're interesting elder ones. I'll definitely give them that. So some general components, storyboard, unknown board, double slot tiles, dashboards, dice, tentacle tokens. Those are kind of cool. Unknown monster cards, sand cards, mythos cards, relic cards, episode boxes, discovery cards. Okay. Tokens, yep. Everything being added to your pledge. So this is kind of the stuff that's been unlocked. And hey, a bunch of Kickstarter exclusives. Simon back to their old stuff for this. So there's Antonio, who we saw earlier. James, Amelia, Ryan, Isadora, Steve, Taylor, Saito. I always look at these because a lot of times with these, they're references to pop culture, but you can figure them out. Steve, Tom, Martin. I don't pick any up quite off there. Lost episode 4. Okay. Interesting. The monsters. Zolg, Cat from Saturn. Yimbai. Brown Jenkins. Interesting. Monster cards. I mean, Brown Jenkins is a interesting Lovecraft story, so but yeah, it's just interesting that you don't see Brown Jenkins often represented in Cthulhu games, at least not any that I've ran into where he's in it. What do we got down here? There's the rulebook, Face the Unknown, so you can play the demo on Tabletop Simulator. There's some review and live play videos. Here's their painted mini. Yeah, see that Leon guy, he just doesn't quite fit with kind of the rest of the aesthetic. Interesting. One thing I will say is like a lot of the Cthulhu monsters or a lot of the monsters they kind of have a very similar paint scheme. There's not a lot of interesting variety there. So stretch goals. Here's what we can see. Maybe we'll pick up some of the references. There's James, Amelia, Ryan, Sue, Isadora. Yeah, I'm not picking up who these guys are. And sometimes you have to read their descriptors that they put out with the stuff to get it. And then, hey, some option was unspeakable box. Okay, it's for 120. Sure to check out the original Cthulhu Death May Die campaign for more. Oh, I'm gonna almost guess that this is the Kickstarter. Oh yeah, because it says Kickstarter. I'm gonna guess these are the Kickstarter exclusives from the last time this game was up, which is interesting. Simon doesn't usually do that, so there's a chance to get all of the extra stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's that Dagon figure. I kind of remember that. Oh, and there's Rylith Rising, so $180, and here's that giant Cthulhu sculpture. It's really big. Shipping information. Okay, let's get down here to shipping, because I remember most states for the unknowable pledge, $45, but some of them are up in the hundreds. That's with no add-ons, so oof. Yeah, so if you had Rylith Rising, so just that figure, right? $45 just to ship that. Oh, the shipping. So I'm not gonna lie. It's just doesn't seem to be a lot on this. I wonder if they're not counting on people knowing this game already. I remember the original campaign, and it had, I think, just a bit more detail and imagery with it and such. Because looking through this, if I don't know how to play the game, which I don't, there's not a whole lot. I mean, there's some things that interest me that I see in this, but I don't know. So then we have Cthulhu Death May Die, and I took a quick moment to pull up the past campaign and kind of look at what was involved. I am right that Unspeakable Box is basically the Kickstarter exclusives from the first one. I also found out that's where Season 2 was. It was the expansion in the first campaign. And so one of the things that would be interesting to me, I guess if I were to back this, is I would want to go back in and see if I couldn't get the first two, because, I'd hate to have the Season 3 and not the other ones. I know it's a standalone, but it kind of... I'm the type of collector, gotta have it all, and such. But yeah, I don't know where to really sit on this one. Simon has had their issues as of late. I like their games. I do have one Simon game that was kind of a flop. I just don't know how much this one will get to the table. And looking at it, so it looks like I could get Season 3 in the Kickstarter exclusives from the first one. I'd have to try and find the other 2 seasons to complete it. And I just don't know. And it's tough. I kind of look at my collection as, do I have something like that? This is another Cthulhu game, and from all I hear, it's good, and I'll probably watch a few review videos after this to get a feel. But at the same time, I have other Cthulhu games that I really enjoy that I wish I got to the table more often. I'm talking Eldritch Horror. I know it's a long game, but I really enjoy it and kind of the adventure feel of it. And I absolutely love Arkham Horror, the Living card game. It's amazing. In fact, if I kind of lean, you can see there's a bunch of it that I just got recently on sale to add to the collection. I mean, those games I already have in my jam, and I've already heavily invested in. Do I need another Cthulhu game? Even if this one does get decent reviews, I don't know, and I kind of am leaning towards no. And part of it is also not all the miniatures interest me. It's tough. And these are the tough things. It always sucks when you pass on something it turns out to be great. But at the same time, I look at the money that it would cost for me to kind of get fully invested in this. And for that amount of money, I can continue investing in that. The Bone 6 Pledge Manager is going. I need to dump some money into there. And truthfully, I'm just not gaming a lot as much these days. And so, kind of don't want to fill the cave. So I probably am going to pass on this one. I'll probably look at it a few more times and see what all comes out, because it's Simon, so there'll be more add-ons, more things, and see if there's anything that really reaches out and grabs me and pulls me in. But I just, at the moment, at the time of recording this, I'm on the fence, but leaning very heavily towards the pass. So hopefully some of you found this interesting. I know I always enjoy hearing other people's thoughts on things like this. And, hey, if you invested in Cthulhu Death May Die and you liked this game and this system and you think I should give it a really good, strong look, hey, put some comments down below. Let me know what you think of it, what you've heard. If there's things you think I should check out or no, feel free to share anything with that. And or hey, you have a recommendation for another great Cthulhu game? Let me know. Might be interested. I mean, it's always a potential. With that said, though, thanks for joining me for an episode. I said another, and I should just say an episode of Howard's Game of Wonder. It's been a while. I am working on some stuff. This is always a side project to our main podcast, Beer, Blues, and BS, a podcast that really is about two good brothers talking about some hobby stuff, if you're into the hobby stuff, but just the things that generally interest us, that we're seeing, we're doing, our lives. There's some crazy stories. I tend to drink a bunch of crappy beer on the show. It's a great time with friends, and it's a great time for joining. So feel free to check that out. You can find out more about the Triple B on our Facebook page. Just search for Beer, Blues, and BS, or on our website, beerbluesandbs.com. And with that, thanks for joining me here down in the cave. More of this content coming. I promise. It's coming. I'm working on it. It'll be here. Just be patient. And hopefully I'll see you back here in the cave again soon. Thanks, everybody.